Well, many of you at home may think that summertime is over with school starting and that the fun is over and we're starting to get the cooler temperatures, but you would be wrong because the fun is not over, and especially here in downtown Greeley, we have a couple of events coming up along with many others, but we're going to highlight those two today. And here to talk about those events, I have a couple of special guests. You're very special, you know. So I have with me the Allison Hamling and also Bianca Fisher, who are both from the Downtown Development Authority. Great to have both of you here today.
Good morning, Amy.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so these smiling faces always remind me of fun in downtown. And those events that I mentioned, we're going to talk about those now. One of the first ones I'd like to talk about that's coming up first is kind of a unique event called My Favorite Bands. Can you tell folks about this and what exactly is My Favorite Bands?
My Favorite Bands is a bunch of bands doing sets by their favorite bands. So they kind of become the persona of the other band that they're doing. So some of the local bands you might recognize, like Turn 4, High and Dry, the Bonnie and the Clydes, will be doing whole sets of another musician that they like.
Okay, so I'm thinking of a few bands that I kind of liked through my youth. That might be dating myself just a little bit here, but I don't know. I know that My Favorite Bands has been going for a while, and the one picture that always sticks in my mind are the guys, I can't remember the name of the group, the Devos, or they had the red hats in that. So it really is a bit of a throwback in time, especially if there's a time period of music that you really enjoy.
You're speaking of Peter, Paul, and Gary, and actually we don't know what they have there up their sleeve this year, but they're doing something special because they're celebrating their 20th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure they're going to have a whole hat of tricks there they're going to pull out. So, but Friday night, we kick off Friday night the 18th, right after Friday Fest. Okay. We'll be kicking off with Fleetwood Mac by Rumors and Tina Turner by Bonnie and the Clydes upstairs at the Moxie. So you can come down for Friday Fest and then just go right upstairs to the Moxie and enjoy the My Favorite Bands kickoff on the 18th.
Now that's very exciting to me because I've seen Bonnie and the Clydes, and as soon as you said Tina Turner, I was like, really? So that will be a very cool thing to see. Okay, so I'm heading down to Friday Fest, then I head up to the Moxie for the kickoff. And then it all starts up again the next day.
Right. Saturday the 19th, right here in Lincoln Park, they'll have two stages set up. Who you will be seeing are bands like the Jekylls, Turn 4, Jux County, High and Dry. But who you will be hearing is Cheap Trick, Sunvolt, The Pretenders, No Doubt, and Def Leppard. And then it'll end up with the 20th anniversary celebration, which I'm sure will be something wild and crazy by Peter, Paul, and Gary.
All right, so can you give us an idea of the times on the day and if there's a fee for this?
The Saturday starts at 4 o'clock here in the park, and it's still such an incredible, ridiculous good deal. It's $5 for 6 bands from 4 to 10. So it's $5 to get in, helps them cover their expenses. Nobody's making a bunch of money off of this. It's really just to have fun. All these musicians just have a bunch of fun, just kind of imitating or covering or kind of taking their own ownership twist sometimes of songs by other bands that they admire.
Well, it's such a cool event, and I'm glad that it's happening right here in downtown Greeley. And along with that, we're here today at the gazebo in Lincoln Park, which is, kind of an iconic place. But there's another event, and Bianca, you get all excited when I mention this. And that is Oktobrewfest. And there's something really exciting this year. It's actually in October.
Yeah, we joke with everyone that we don't have to explain to everyone why we start Oktoberfest in September, which it traditionally does in Germany.
Right.
But this year we are October 2nd and October 3rd, so hopefully we'll have some great weather. But it's the perfect fall time and just to kick things off. So there's just so many events happening. We didn't want to be conflicting, so it'll be a great weekend.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's been a very busy summer, and there are certain dates that it seems like everyone gravitated towards. But hopefully October 2nd and 3rd, everyone puts that on their calendars. So let's start off with the 2nd. I'm assuming that is a kickoff night.
It sure is. So Friday night is always a fun night, and we do kick off here in Lincoln Park. We've got a couple great bands. We usually start with a headliner that's a little bit more traditional German style, and then we end with a little bit more contemporary kind of fun band that's approachable to everyone. So.
Right, and then of course all that music fun continues on into Saturday. But a big part of this, I always have to make sure I mention, is the beer. And you guys have the VIP tasting area. That's been very popular. So can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So just to backtrack just a second. So Oktoberfest, we became Oktobrewfest because we really wanted to celebrate Colorado as a whole, and even northern Colorado we are the Napa Valley of beer. So it's a fun way to bring that into the event. So it became a part of the name so much so. So we will have over, about 10 or so breweries represented.
Wow.
Mostly northern Colorado. So our very own locals, Wiley Roots, Crabtree, Broken Plow, Weldworks. We have a new one coming to town, which is Grand Lake Brewing. We've got Oscar Blues and Odell and Grimm Brothers, so a great variety of beer. And then on Saturday, we have a special area, the VIP tent, like you mentioned.
Right. Yes.
And that's a ticketed area where people can sample very special beers that aren't served in the general area. So it's exclusive, and then Stuff Burger's there on site also doing sliders, and we have cheese for Muco. So it's a fun little area for people who want just a little bit more.
Okay, so before we get too far into this, for now that you've tasted everyone's palate just a little bit, how do they get tickets for that VIP area?
So very soon we will have the tickets up on our website through Eventbrite, so they can be purchased there. We usually do have a few the day of. I wouldn't count on it because last year we did sell out. But tickets are $30, and like I said, they include the unlimited samples, the food, and then there's a little complimentary commemorative tasting glass as well. So.
All right, so that's taking care of our VIPs. Now we're going to talk about all the rest of us. And that is on the day of the event on Saturday. Folks can come down. It is free to get in. If you're planning on drinking, obviously, we're going to check you out and make sure that you're legit. And but then once we enter the park here, what all can folks look forward to?
Well, we have a lot of food vendors, of course, in the food vendor area, a lot of the same as last year. We'll have 2 or 3, of course, selling the traditional bratwurst. We're going to try to get Rumi's House of Kebab. So we really mix it up in the food area. Tropical Snow always comes. The German club from UNC usually has a booth. So there's lots of food to enjoy, and there's a craft area. And we usually take craft applications, actually, right up till about a week before.
Okay.
So if anyone wants information about a craft booth, we can get that to you. And then the kids area is fantastic. We have lots of, the big inflatable slide and all kinds of games and activities that they can get tickets for that are very, very inexpensive to get little tickets to play the children's area. And Wow Bubbles will be here again. And then, of course, all the entertainment on the stage.
Yeah, so it's a very busy couple of days and very family friendly. That's the thing I always like to mention is how family friendly it is. And I know that I've seen folks come down and they just kind of hang out all day.
Yeah. We have the kind of music everybody will enjoy. We kick off with the Greeley Children's Chorale again this year, and that's always very popular. Then as soon as they're done, they all tear off over into the children's area to start their day playing over there. But Friday night we have the local band that's ending it Friday night is After the Fire. They've played at one of our Friday Fests. They are really nice, big, like multiple horn kind of band, a lot of local people in that. Then we'll have the Fahrenheit 360 Fire Spinners here again, of course. Yep. Saturday, some of the entertainment includes the traditionals like Polka Mates and Randy Eckert and the Dutch Hop Makers, and of course the Volkstanzgruppe dancers that are always here every year. But we're ending up with sort of a beat grass band called Willie Bean Bluegrass. So, and then we'll also have all of our contests. We'll have the pie eating and the life-size beer pong, the Ironstein lifting contest.
Right,
so, also we're going to have Saturday in the park. The Blades of Mariah Celtic Theater are doing 2 performances, and they said that they've added to their show this year. So it's kind of a Renaissance style show that they put on. So there is so much going on for people to see and enjoy, and they can do the VIP beer tent or just hanging out around the gazebo or the kids area.
Well, and we certainly hope that the weather hangs in there. And of course, I have to pick on Dean. Dean was just making faces at me. He's like, food, tell us about the food.
Well, what's some of the favorites? The bratwurst certainly, and the knupfli.
And then everything from, I mean, a giant slice of pizza that's the size of a small child to, I mean, to Rice Krispie treats, to kebabs, to soft pretzels, to turkey legs. I mean, we've got it all. We've got something for everyone. So it really is. It's a perfect. And not to forget, we have our commemorative steins this year, which has been a huge hit since we started it about 4 years ago, and we have sold out of them every year. So make sure you get your steins. We have the traditional full liter and half liter steins, and again, those are cast in Germany, so truly authentic.
Awesome.
We've got a really fun design. Actually, this year we're highlighting a new logo, which is really exciting for us. And so the steins will feature the new logo that will be used for Oktobrewfest from this year forward. So we're excited to highlight those on the commemorative steins this year.
Very cool. I know those are popular, like you mentioned. Okay, just as we're wrapping up here, how does everyone get information about My Favorite Brands and Oktoberfest? Where should they go?
Well, of course, there's Facebook pages for both. You can just go to Facebook and type in My Favorite Bands or Oktobrewfest in the search line. It'll come up. You can go to downtowngreeley.com and find information there under signature events. There's lots of Oktobrewfest information there. And we'll put up some My Favorite Bands information there as well. And I do want to note that the Oktobrewfest is our annual fundraiser for the DDA. I have to remind people that we are a nonprofit. And in order to put on all these great events for you this year and have the kind of staff we need to pull that off, this fundraiser is very, very important to us and to the community.
All right. Well, Bianca and Allison, so great having you here today, and I look forward to seeing you down here in Lincoln Park.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us, Amy.
You bet. All right. So make sure you hit that website. It's Downtown Greeley. I got it? Yeah, downtowngreeley.com, and check out My Favorite Bands and Oktobrewfest.